Tango 102, 145 is ready to move off the southwest fuel road, over.
Hello, my name is Martin, welcome back to another video, and this week we're at Siemens and TransPennine Express Traincare depot here in Ardwick, home territory. River Cornbrook is probably somewhere underneath us. We've been there, haven't we? Anyway, we've been invited along by Siemens and TransPennine Express to look around, to see what goes on, and it's a bit of a privilege, to be honest with you. The man that's arranged it, and I'll introduce him to you soon, is Mr. Don Coffey, who you may have heard of. But I'm going to try and give you a good insight into what they do here at the depot, the Traincare depot. So in this video, as well as getting a really good behind the scenes tour of a modern train care facility, we also get to try out the Class 185 driver simulator. And we'll see if James will ever make it as a train driver, as a real train driver, shall we? We take a Class 185 through the washing plant, and we also get an insight into how a driver would deal with an emergency procedure. So where are we this week? Well, we're in Ardwick, which is about a mile east of Manchester city centre. We've been here before, as you know. Anyway, without further ado, let's take a look around and see what's going on out in the yard.
Yeah, David Graham, production manager, Siemens Ardwick.
So yeah, this is the fuel that's arriving from the trains here now. We usually have one of them a day. It goes into the big diesel fuel tanks which hold 85,000 litres. A lot of fuel.
Oh, we've got a shunter. I was going to ask that question, what you had to do if you had to shunt any units. Did you use that?
Lancelot.
Lancelot.
It's not been used for a while because we've kind of not had any purpose to use Lancelot. But to be fair, we've had people come to the depot for site visits and that, and like the kids just prefer to look at this and be on this and pull the horn and everything, you know. Yeah. So yeah, this is, we've got all our drivers are trained to use Lancelot. If you notice there, we've got the coupler, and that's what we'll couple units to with the airlines, external airlines.
Question, why have you not got an 08?
An 08?
Shunter.
Because we've had this for 20 odd years, and I don't know if it's sentimental, this works. Yeah, got you. Know.
So, being the old school train spotter that I am, I had to ask the question about the 08, but Lancelot is a fine specimen. Now, I'm not quite sure what Lancelot is, I can't give you any details, but I'm sure someone watching will know what Lancelot is. We've got a look inside the cab, absolutely brilliant. Now here at Ardwick, they mainly service and look after the Class 185 diesel multiple unit that runs the TransPennine Express services. So let's board one and see what it's like inside. So that's interesting, isn't it? We've got the real thing. And there's a view forward. And there you go, we're on 185, 145. What do you think, Gordon? Do you like these?
Lovely. They are, aren't they? They do look smart. I like the colour.
I love this blue. Yeah. It's really nice. And I like a proper table with a window seat, like the old Mark IIs.
Yeah, we're going to go off the southwest fuel road. We're going to take it through the wash, wait for it to reset itself, and then we're going to come back through the wash. Under 5 miles an hour through the wash. Right. And that's going to wash the exterior of the unit.
Tango 102, 145 is ready to move off the southwest fuel road, over.
2, Tango 1, you've got a route from the south fuel road through the train wash into Piccadilly reception, and I'll watch on the camera and stop you just as you clear the wash.
Receive, proceeding from the south fuel road through the train wash to the Piccadilly reception, stopping under your instruction. Proceeding now, thanks.
So what you're going to see here is the Class 185 goes actually through the train wash and clear it, then we're going to come back through while it's on and it's going to clean the train.
102, 145 is ready to proceed from the Piccadilly reception.
Fire up another engine as well, actually, because we will lose traction.
Too slow, it won't work. Just keep an eye on your speed with 30 miles an hour, so back that power off now.
Okay, so we'll come back to the train wash. Let's take a look at this simulator that the drivers actually do the training on.
Got you a bit there, but he's filming the route now.
So this is a little control panel that this gentleman here sets all the scenarios up for the drivers. But you can set up things on the line, can't you?
Failures, faults.
And what's that?
Failures, faults, AWS not cancelling, for example.
Right.
Things breaking, signals reverting.
Wow.
I could have thrown a red at you for a laugh, but I didn't. Well, yeah, it's an amazing tool. We use it a lot for training because things that out of core don't happen very often.
And is that the line? Is that the?
This is your line here.
And that's where you can put all the signals, the speed limits on and everything.
Oh yeah.
And that's your mock-up of the cab, is it?
This is your controls. I can see you as you move.
Oh, you can see what I'm doing?
Yeah. I can see it. I can also change what I'm looking at. So if I wanted to see the switches behind you, and if you've isolated any,
Right.
I can do that.
Right.
Including like what you're pressing to call people,
Really?
which phone you've picked up if you picked the wrong phone up. Because
Wow.
one phone is for the signaller, one's for the guard, for the internal communications.
Yeah.
And then we also have a bit more in depth is the fault panels.
All right.
So they break things on our train on the sim and we have to fix them on the sim.
Right. So there you go. That's where the test the drivers.
No, didn't mean to.
Concentration.
I was thrown by the other train coming the other direction. Right, let's go.
So there's Roy having a go at the train simulator. A little bit different from his Toyota Yaris. Oh yeah, you're up to 50.
No, you
don't have to acknowledge.
screens. So I'm observing the speed limits, 50, so I need to bring the power down a bit. Slow it down.
We also had Gordon with us as well, who you may know as Nodrog. He bossed it, so he was a complete professional, but I reckon he plays at home on his computer. Right, so I've got a question for you. So you know, if you're on the track and you pull up at a red, and you didn't expect the red, have you always got to get out and telephone the signaller?
No, not anymore. They don't want you out of the train anymore.
Right.
Because our radio is so good now.
All right.
That even in a tunnel or a cut-in or where you wouldn't expect, that radio will get you out.
Right.
So now we just contact the signaller on the phone. We don't leave the cab.
That phone just goes straight to the signaller?
It does. Well, it goes to wherever you want it to go. It can go to control if you need it to do. But and we've also got an emergency button on there. So say for instance we're driving along and we see something that's a real emergency, like a vehicle that's got on the track or something like that.
Yeah.
If we press the red button, all the other trains in the area, as well as the signaller, get a notification.
Right.
And you can simulate it afterwards, Chris, can't you? You can hear it afterwards. But basically, as soon as that warning goes off, you put your train into emergency, and all the other trains that are in the adjacent cells will come to a stand.
Wow.
And then we'll talk to each other and say what's gone on, what's the problem.
Locate and all the rest of it.
Because one train might be heading for the hazard, and others might be leaving the hazard, but nobody moves until everybody understands what the emergency is.
Right.
So it's good that we can stop all trains from our cab. If we see a hazard, we can stop all trains in the area. Push it forward, so watch this, bring it up to about 30.
Okay, so through the wash, and we're going to put the Class 185 up in the head shunt next to Lancelot. Now in a moment we're going to walk around the Traincare facility and see what goes on in there, but don't forget you've yet to see me on the train simulator, and James provides me with some challenges, but I think I might get my own back.
I'm Simon Wildgoose, the Fleet Delivery Manager for Siemens here at Ardwick. This is our main shed. It's got 4 roads, each one is east and west, so we can stable up to 8 185s in here at any one time. 9 road, the one we're on at the moment, is the most used. That's where we do all our maintenance, routine servicing of trains, if you like. And then the other locations are used for as and when ad hoc fixing of trains, whatever we need to do.
That's fascinating to see, isn't it?
But a 185 has a single 400 volt driven compressor that compresses air for the whole of the 3 carriages. And these are the jumper cables that go between vehicles. And you can see that they're literally bolted together, so they're permanently coupled together.
And there you go, there's the coupling system.
It's the most used road in the depot. This is where we do all the routine maintenance. So this train now is the equivalent of your car having a 12,000 mile service, except this is 30,000 miles. So every 30,000 miles the train will come in and have what we call a B exam, but it's effectively a service. And that keeps it going for another 30,000.
An insight there into the braking mechanism. Ah, yeah, so when you get the wheel slip, you've got your sander there, and presume that there is the sanding box. Yeah. There you go, there's your engine. Cummins 19 litre engine. So there's your drive shaft there. Bit of detail, poor light here because obviously we're underneath the train, but there you go. There's your drive shaft. The thing that strikes you the most about this depot, as I want to call it, is the cleanliness of it. Absolute clean, clean environment, very safety conscious. It's just incredible. You wouldn't think they did the work that they do here. And if you've ever wondered what the brake blocks are like for a 185, they're in a box down here. What strikes me the most about this place is just how big it is, Don. Because when you're leaving the main line from Piccadilly, you look to your left, you see this, I see one shed, and you don't realise just how huge it is. It's very impressive.
Well, the thing is, there's 51 of these units, and they've got to go somewhere for maintenance. And
are they all based here?
not at one time.
No.
There's, some of them are at York, so there's a satellite depot at York.
Right.
And some of them stay out overnight at Hull and Scarborough and places, Liverpool for instance, places like that. But this is the home depot. Ardwick is the home depot.
So any heavy maintenance is done here, minor exams out at the satellite depot, is that right?
Yes, exactly. So they're not allowed to leave in a morning without the rule book checks.
Right.
So, you know, they do quite a lot of safety checks. They all get cleaned. They do some maintenance thing, make sure the fuel and the oil and all lubricants and everything are okay. But for heavy maintenance, for everything else, all the routine maintenance and heavy maintenance, of which you'll see some later on, is done here.
Right, so I'm going to take a 185 out onto the main line.
Here we go, James. Be prepared. So not as easy now you're sat in the big seat, is it?
No pressure.
No pressure.
Can you change stuff about on there?
Yeah.
So from what I understand, we're 30 mile an hour. I think we're 30 mile an hour initially, and then we're going to speed up. So I'm giving it a nice, gentle pull out.
Power it up, Martin. We've got a timetable.
All right, yeah. No pressure.
Pressure. We're moving.
Yeah, we're moving.
Just keep an eye change your speed with 30 miles an hour, so back that power off now.
Well, I'm just staying under 30 mile an hour now.
Okay, that's just where we're at now.
Perfect, that is.
So I actually should have put my glasses on.
That's about a mine.
Yeah, so power it up now, Martin.
So we're going to 100 mile an hour now.
Full power.
So I'm powering up. Just going over a river here, powering up now. We've got 100 mile an hour. It's when we get the AWS warnings, I'm worried.
Just keep your eye off the yellows.
So can I let go of that handle? Oh,
yeah, you can let go of it.
It's suddenly gone very dark.
Oh.
Somebody might be playing tricks on you, Martin.
Yeah, I should have put my glasses on.
I think we've got young James over at control playing with the weather.
Have you got your glasses with you?
They're in my,
use
you know my black coat? No, I don't want yours. My black coat is out there. Oh, it's snowing.
This is what happens now.
Yeah, it's now snowing like mad. So James is playing with the weather conditions. I've got a green signal. So
we're trucking away now.
Yeah, so we are currently coming up to 80 mile an hour in the snow. Dark skies, just the way James wants it to try me out.
Alright, wait till it's his turn. Wait till it's your turn, boy.
Yeah, I better put my glasses on, aren't I?
You better keep
I can see where I'm going. We're just passing another train now, and up ahead I can see a green signal. Siggy's green. No speed restrictions. And we've got fog. And we've got fog.
It's a typical day in Manchester, this, isn't it?
So yeah. So AWS is okay.
Watch your speed.
Oh. So I'm just approaching 100, so I'm coming off the power handle now a little bit.
And we do drive at 100 in the fog, even when you can't see out. As long as they keep pinging at you, the signal, you're fine.
It's like crossing the Pennines, this. Approaching train. Siggy's green.
If you see anybody on the track, don't forget to sound the horn. There's somebody banging on the cab door.
Really?
Yes, I think they're into
What's he want?
I think it's James looking for the buffet.
Yeah, James is looking for the buffet. So although we're joking and we're having some great fun, drivers really have to face these conditions at night time, during the day, crossing the Pennines, and this is why they have to know the route. Route learning is essential. They have to know exactly where they are, to the point where they almost know where the signals are, and they can obviously negotiate these kind of conditions. And then if there's an emergency, a whole host of operations and emergency procedures click into place, and they have to know the rule book on what to do and how to deal with each emergency. Progressing back up to 100 mile an hour now.
Because we do have to keep time, that's the thing.
Yeah. I'll tell you something, the vigilance required. But then again, it is my first time. I suppose if you know the route,
that's half the battle.
Now I
don't know this route, so it's...
So I'm at 90, so I'm going to progress. Just going to progress up to 100 mile an hour now. James is in the back controlling the simulator.
It's alright, it's our turn, but it's his turn.
Giving me all sorts of weather conditions just to try me out.
Just watch your speed. That's it.
So that sort of bleeping noise you heard then was the AWS Advanced Warning System, and that tells me that there's a yellow signal. I have to respond to that by pressing a button to acknowledge that I've seen it and heard it, and it's warning me that the next signal along could be either yellow again or it could be red. So I've got to prepare to slow down now, take control of the train, and be prepared to stop if necessary. Quite a lot of vigilance required. This is where it gets difficult now, because I don't want to stop just yet.
60 starts at the yellow.
Have we got an answer?
Yeah, but you're going up to a red signal, so stop the train. Yeah, don't leave that a minute, stop your train.
That's stopped, innit?
Yeah, go.
Do I go forward?
Put it into full, put it in neutral. You have to judge whether or not you're going to answer that.
Yeah.
But certainly not on the approach to a red like this.
Because they're on the passive, do it.
Exactly, that's the thing. That's more than tea and biscuits. You're off trains while it's investigated. That.
Oh God! Is that a SPAD? Signal past at danger.
Exactly. That's what that is. So.
Right, so thank you, James, for the weather conditions and all the rest of it. That you found very entertaining. Are you having a go now? Is Gordon having a go?
You have a go.
Right, so this is Don Coffey. You may have seen his videos that he puts up on YouTube. The driver's eye view, isn't it, Don?
That's it, yeah.
And Don's arranged this day for us where we've come round to the Ardwick depot, Siemens Traincare depot, to look round. So we're very, very grateful. Well, let's plug your channel. So you're on YouTube?
Don Coffey YouTube channel. We're mainly doing cab rides on all passenger trains, freight trains, all sorts of different things. It gives you the opportunity to see it from our point of view, basically.
Yeah.
And of course we're fundraising as well, so the revenue goes to charity. And for that reason, TransPennine have been really good in letting me do it, because it's not the kind of thing that you'd normally be allowed to do. No. And other companies have joined in and they're allowing us to do the same thing as well, you know, so it's spreading, it's growing.
The other day I was watching a Class 66 going somewhere, so take it that's a contact you've got that's done that footage for you, give it to you, and then...
Yeah, sometimes it works like that, so they'll have a camera or take one of my cameras and film it themselves.
Right.
And other times they'll give me permission to go. You can't just turn up and get in the cab of the train. You've got to have all the proper permissions and, you know, go through the motions of doing it. So.
The next bit we'll go into is what we call 5 road, which is the heavy maintenance, where you'll see the equipment that we can use for dropping the engines, the bogies, crawler groups, all that sort of heavy equipment off the trains. And this is what we call the drops, because what we generally do is park a train on top of it, drop the equipment down, and then it comes under the floor where we're standing and goes up there, and then we can work on it. Generally speaking, if it's something like an engine, a bogie or whatever, what we'll do is we'll take it out, put another one back in, sort that out, send the train out, and then work on the engine or whatever's the problem. Just get the train back in service.
So you can kind of isolate it, shove it over into this part. Yeah, brilliant. There you go, fuel tank off a 185. That must be able to hold some 2,200 litres. Wow. Look at that. Incredible. Can you imagine filling that up? And how long, and it might be a daft question because it depends where the train's going to go, but how long would that, how often do you refill them? Does it have one fuel tank on or more than one?
It has
one per car, so there's 3 per train.
So you're talking 6,000 litres of fuel. And how long would you expect that to last?
They are scheduled back to the depot every 2 days.
Really?
But they don't always make it, so there is a bit of slack in that, but they, generally speaking, come back every 2 days.
And they need a complete refill then?
No. No,
so
they are refilled, but they don't need a complete fill.
Right.
So
they're kept topped up, in other words.
So every train that comes on depot, the first thing it does, well, the second thing after the train wash, is it gets completely refueled.
Right. Whether it needs it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, got you. And then here is the engine. This is a Cummins QSK 19 engine, diesel engine, 19 litre, so I'm told, and you can see it's in for some maintenance. Look at this. So normally you're used to seeing a diesel engine a kind of a vertical arrangement, but these are kind of like horizontal. That's the best way I can explain it. So you see here, the pistons are arranged that way. Now some of you may know that, but I just found that out today, and it gives it that flattish sort of like structure, so it can be underslung underneath the carriage. And what they can do now is they can mount it on here, and they can jack it up, raise it up, and they can work on it and do what they need to do. Well, it's quite interesting to see that, because you can see the way it is normally slung underneath the body of the carriage. And I take it this is like the drive mechanism that runs through there, and you can see how it's all really compact and it sits underneath. Look at that. So Don, this obviously what you do on YouTube, this footage of this driver's eye view, is to raise money for charity, is that right?
Yeah.
And what charity is it?
Now it's the Samaritans.
Right.
It wasn't always. I've donated to lots of different charities, but now it's the Samaritans. So
Right.
collectively we've donated, I think it's 37,000, something like that.
That
to
what
the-
you've raised?
Yeah, it is, for the
Wow.
Samaritans.
That's incredible.
That doesn't count the other ones we've done previously, you know, but we've settled on the Samaritans now. Some of the companies that I work with, Transport for Wales, Metrolink, you know, the trams, they wanted to do something mental health related,
Yeah.
so we settled on the Samaritans, and that's our.
Right, so that's a new axle and a new set of tyres. I want you to look at that from the surface there to that line there. See it? Okay, so that is the life of the tyre. They can keep shaving bits off till it gets down to there. And remember that line. Let me show you this. This is an older one. Look at the line. Well, you may or may not be able to see it, but see the line there? So this is a much older wheel, and there's all sorts of things to think of. You've got little grooves that form here where it's run along the rail, and they all have to be balanced up on the train, because you can't have that mixed with the brand new, and it's all got to be balanced. Now this machine here, the wheel lathe, does that turning on the tyres and shaves them and makes them completely round and true, and is responsible for the smooth running of the wheels and everything. That is an electric tug that can bring the 185s in and out, and without creating loads of fumes within the maintenance facility. Busy time of year, because apparently with all the leaves on the line, and it is a real problem, when they apply the brake these trains can slide and it wears a flat onto the wheel. Obviously the wheel's got to be true, it's got to run really smoothly, so it has a lot of work around about autumn and this time of year. So anyway, your videos, Don, have been responsible many a time for me sitting up late at night, because I'll see it and it could be, I was watching a freight one the other day, and it was some like crew to somewhere, and I thought, well, I'll just have a look and see as far as the line's out of crew. And then I sit there and it's 11:30 and it's 12:15 and it's gone midnight and I'm up working in the morning. I'm just sat there. I've got to complete this journey now, because I want to see this loco when it gets to the yard and see where it goes to. So I find them quite addictive.
Yeah.
So the beast is being fed. What you on? So James was very happy as he got lunch provided, but he's still yet to drive this train. So let's get him in the simulator and see how he goes on. Right, you ready to drive your train?
Yeah.
Can't crash it.
You can't crash it?
There may be some bad weather, because we're going to get our own back on you.
Okay.
You think you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
Got to run on time, get everyone there safely.
Okay.
Our controller here is going to challenge him somewhat.
We can.
We're going to be kind initially. Let's go and see how he's going on. Right, how do you feel?
Well, there's a lot of buttons.
Pretend you're going to York for a day out, and you've got lots of passengers on, and you can't look this up. So he's got some rain.
You're not doing too bad though.
He's at 60 miles an hour, so he can put a bit of power on. Obviously, the passenger safety is foremost in his mind.
Yes.
So now he's got some snow.
Somebody's plane trick.
Yeah.
Speed drops to 50 mile an hour over the points.
50 mile an hour. So you have to slow it down a tiny little bit.
What are you doing now? Class 70 to your left. You didn't whistle at that, man. Too late, too late. Class 70 again to your left. Couple of mill chimneys.
So it's a 50, the weather's getting a bit
50.
bad now.
Yeah, oh, the snow's got heavier.
The weather's getting very bad. Oh, drop down to 30.
And he's got a white out. Oh! Unexpected item on the line.
So now you'd go through all your protocol to say that you'd struck a horse on the track and what have you.
Now, I don't want to make too much light of this, because, you know, we were basically playing it and just having a go. But you have to remember, in a real life situation, if a train did strike something, you know, or it becomes derailed, it's then a hazard, and the driver and the guard have to know what to do, because don't forget, further up the line you've got other trains using the same main line hurtling towards you, you know, 90, 100 mile an hour. So this is where the train driver and the guard's knowledge kicks in, and there's a whole rule book and a procedure of things to do, because they've got to think of the safety not only of the passengers on the train, but the safety of the passengers and the crew on the trains further up the line. So it's a matter of letting the signalman know, and obviously getting the signals behind switched to danger. We're going to show you what happens when a passenger pulls the emergency stop. What do you call it? A what?
PASCOM.
PASCOM.
Communications.
Passenger communications. So James is going to pull it as if an incident has occurred on the train. Got a camera up front there, so you'll be able to see what goes on in the driver's cab. Let's go.
As you can tell, there's a lot of noise going on now. It's not easy to concentrate on what you're doing. So then you decide whether or not you're going to kick out and disable the brake. Otherwise, it'll stop the train. And you can tell now that it's subdued some of the noise, so it's not too loud that you can't concentrate. And you pick this up. This is the driver speaking. Have you got an emergency?
Did that go through to the main part of the train then, or the guard?
No, it goes locally. So the guard can listen in at the other end.
Yeah.
But it only goes in locally to
where it was pulled.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Got you. Yeah.
So it doesn't. Not the whole train isn't listening to it, and they're in the toilets as well. You know. So, so if somebody gets stuck in a toilet or has a situation, you know, that they need some help. We can monitor it all from here and deal with it.
So Don, I take it this has happened to you while you've been driving?
It has. I've had it quite a lot for various reasons. Sometimes it's genuine. It's usually people that say, oh, I should have got off at that station, or...
Really? As trivial as that?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not the reason you would pull that at all, is it? That's incorrect use.
I had one not long ago. I was driving one back late on in the day, and I got a message to say that there's somebody, a lady, slipping in and out of consciousness. So what I was able to do was get onto the signaller. He then cleared all the signals from where I was near Wakefield into Huddersfield. So I had a clear run right into Huddersfield, and they had an ambulance waiting for her when we got there.
Brilliant.
So that's what it's for, generally speaking. But you do get false alarms. I had it going into Leeds one day not long ago, and it was a gang of blokes messing around. They were just fooling around. Well, that's not funny, because it stops the train, it causes delay, and we have to deal with the situation. We can't just do it willy-nilly. We have to go through procedures to
and then of course you're backing everything up on the track.
Exactly, it causes a lot of delay, Every train's got a data recorder on it. Everything that the driver does and the train does is recorded in great detail, and if there's an emergency they can refer to it for investigations. It's just like on an aeroplane. You can see it's orange, so that if there is a horrible event where a train ends up in a big crash, they can find it. They'll look for what you call the black box, which is always orange. We also use it for driver competency, so routinely drivers will be downloaded and without any warning, and they're checking to see how the train is being driven. So that's all about competence standards and making sure that everything is okay with the driver.
Right, Dom, I can't thank you enough for today. It's been a fascinating insight, and as I keep saying, I never knew there was so much here. So thank you, me and the boys, James and Roy. I want to thank you very much for inviting us along. Again, how do we find you on YouTube?
Just look on YouTube, Don Coffey.
Don Coffey?
You'll find it. There's
Don Coffey. And you're on Facebook?
There's a Facebook group that runs alongside, so you can follow the channel on the Facebook group, and it allows people to put their own pictures and videos and things like that and ask questions.
Brilliant.
Which I get to eventually. And
so there you go. You'll find Don on YouTube, Don Coffey, and you'll find him on Facebook. So I highly recommend, if you're into railways and you're into railway journeys, get that driver's eye view. Don, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
I should just say, Martin, there's a lot of people involved. The company, people within the company, people outside the company and other rail companies that are all helping me to do this. So it's a collective.
It's a group effort, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, brilliant, thank you. We also want to thank Chris, our simulator operator, for providing all the challenges.
And entertainment.
Bad weather, and a horse on the line for James. Right, so there you go. I hope you enjoyed that unique insight into the Traincare depot here at Ardwick for the 185s. Thanks to everyone that was involved, that arranged it for us and given us the invite. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
See you in a bit.